Greetings, I'm Brendan Lowe, founder of Smartass Undies, wacky alchemist mixing motivation, mindfulness, and sustainability together with a cheeky dash of humor, creating underwear with a difference to make a difference. And today I'm joined by Ashley Moss, environmental scientist, ocean conservationist, coral reef research scuba diver, climate change activist, racial justice activist, intersectional feminist. Whoa,
Hello.
that's a mouthful.
Quite a mouthful, but there's important things to be advocating for all at once. So in summary, just a revolutionary. The polar region because of polar amplification. And that is when, since the polar ice caps are white, they are able to reflect more radiation. But when we lose the ice caps because they're melting, because the climate is warming, they're reflecting less because the surface becomes a bit darker. And so there is more heat being absorbed. So it kind of exacerbates the problem and exacerbates the global warming effect in the polar region specifically, which is responsible for melting the ice caps more and more and producing a lot of fresh water into the oceans that wasn't there before and changes the salinity. Like a positive feedback circle. It continues to get worse. Should we talk about when the couple breaks up? The messy breakup?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So how messy is this breakup? You know, what happens? Are there any custody issues? Are there pets involved?
The breakup is about as messy as it gets. I would even go as far as to say it's the messiest breakup in history. And that's because when the zooxanthellae leaves, she's no longer providing a food source, which definitely affects the entire intricate food web that is supplied from the coral reef. So it directly affects the obligate corallivorous fish that feed directly on the coral polyps, and then it goes on to affect their larger and more sophisticated predators, which will eventually affect humans as well, because we are a major participant in the coral reef food web.
So these it's corallivorous
obligate corallivorous fish.
They just sound nasty. So these are big ass fish that come in and eat coral?
Humans are participants in this food web because we eat the obligate corallivorous fish that feed on the coral reefs. So human participation in the coral reef food web stimulates our economy greatly because of imports and exports of these fish that feed on the corals. And furthermore, these coral reefs provide structural support, which protects coastlines from powerful storm surges, which saves us hundreds of millions of dollars in reparations that we don't even realize. And furthermore, coral reefs.
How does the coral protect us? Sorry, about, you know, how does that stop that severe weather?
So coral reefs are comprised of a hard calcium carbonate skeleton. And so they receive the brunt effect of powerful storm surges and kind of act as a barrier for the coastlines. And so without them, the storm surge would be a lot more devastating to coastal cities and would be very expensive.
Right. So when we talk about the barrier reef, it literally is a barrier to stop more severe weather.
Yeah, that's why it got its name.
Wow. Okay. Learning something new.
Yeah.
And the destruction, and you said about homes, it provides shelter and homes to, like, is that to Dory and Nemo?
Yeah, it is for Dory and Nemo. There are many types of fish that use the coral reef as protection from predators, and there are other species that use the coral reef for protection when they're molting or when they lose their shell or are in between shells. They use the coral reef for protection. And so without the reef, then these animals could go extinct. And without a food source from the reef, there could be widespread extinction events. And a lot of humans could suffer from this as well.
So no coral, no Nemo and Dory.
No Nemo and Dory, and a lot of other life forms as well. And furthermore, coral reefs are responsible for absorbing carbon dioxide and emitting oxygen. So in addition to being able to breathe, which I believe we all enjoy doing, without the coral reefs, the carbon dioxide will no longer be absorbed in the reefs anymore, and it will stay in the atmosphere, which will further exacerbate the greenhouse effect and the global warming effect.
Damn, so it's a really nasty feedback loop.
A really, really nasty breakup. It's the nastiest and it affects us all.